record a computer. All right, everyone, welcome to the call. My name is Frank Brenes. Thank you so much. I know you guys could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here. And my job is to deliver it and bring it and hold you accountable, coach, teach, train you. Again, I'm not your boss. We're not your boss, but what we are is think of us as who's played sports? Show of hands, who's played sports? Who's ran anything? Just like I don't know. Well, think of us as your coach. And that's what coaches do. Coaches they don't do the work for you. They show you the way and they guide you. They're traffic cop you into the right things. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you guys perspective on why this business is literally a gem that you have uncovered a gem. And I want to reinforce that. If you guys weren't part of the corporate overview yesterday, I highly encourage you guys to invite people to the corporate overview that we have every single Monday. We'll change out host once in a while, but myself and my brother are the ones that are leading that. But again, we will ask somebody that's been here a little bit longer to be there with us and to help us along. And the corporate overview is every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's at the SFG Jojo. And there's a reason for our madness. There's a reason why we do these things. And I'm going to go over those things. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to go over and tell you a little bit about my story, who I am, if you guys don't know who I am. And I'm going to be brief, and then I'm going to get into the building mindset. And I want you guys to just have a couple of tools available to you that when you do talk to somebody about the business, about coming on board, why it's a powerful business model. Okay. And Stefan, actually, I was talking to Stefan. I did a three-way call with him with Lucas, Mr. Lucas Sloan there out of Florida. And we touched on it, and Stefan's like, hey, you should coach on that. That's a really good topic of 5-in-1, which is 5 streams of income in one business. So 5 cash flow opportunities in one business model, which right now, if you have a job, thank you. It's awesome to have a job. You only have 1 stream of income, and you're the only asset producing for you, which is you. And that, to me, if you think about, can be very, very dangerous in this situation, right? So what do? You have your wife, your husband, or significant other, and that person's also working. You too have 2 streams of income. However, it's based on time, right? You're trading your time for dollars. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to get you guys in the mindset of that builder's mindset. All right. And so if you guys would please put the camera on, I want to make sure I'm engaged with everybody so we can go over these things. All right. So let's get started. A little bit about me, and I will jump into this. If you guys have heard this story, I'm going to try to be as brief, and it's practice for me, for you guys that have heard this story already. Okay. It helps me out when I tell my story, and I start honing in on getting better at this, at telling the story. So here we go. Let me find it because I actually scripted it out. Stefan, scripts, right? Scripts are the best thing you can do. All right.
It's a great story. I love your story every time I hear it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sick. I actually scripted it out. So just to hit some really important points for that story. And I tweaked it out. You could do this also with yourself as you continue to do this business. So again, my name is Frank Brenes, and I am direct to Mr. Sean Kim. That means that I came to the company looking for something. All right. And I'll go over that. So I lead the Brenes agency, the Brenes family agency. My family's involved in it. Stefan's involved. I got my wife in there somehow, but she's kind of a moral support. And then I have my 2 kids that are licensed, my 2 older boys, Brandon and Frank. And so it's a family business. Matter of fact, his cousin from my ex-wife's side is part of the business too. So it's pretty exciting, right? That we can, and I guess, it could be weird that you're working with family. If you guys don't want to work with family, you don't have to. So before all of this, so in my prior life, I was a senior vice president at a big ad tech company. And in 2017, on the heel of my son's 8th birthday, we were literally cutting cake, blowing out candles. I got a call from my boss. all right, my boss at the time. And you know that kind of call that you guys get? You're like, oh man. I was thinking it was a bonus. I was thinking it was a promotion. But man, was I surprised because as soon as I picked up the phone, he congratulated me that they had acquired the company that I was with. And I was excited that we just got acquired. I'm thinking, man, we're going to get some funds. Everything's going to go well. And then he drops that hammer on me and he basically said I had to take a pay cut, be a team player. Now, who's had that happen to them ever? Ever? Anybody? Please comment. Put a one if that's ever happened to you guys, right? Right. That sucks. And you know what? Good news is I've been there. So I've been there. And so I was like, okay, well, I mean, what else am I gonna do, you know? But needless to say, I was crushed, you know. Just like that, I thought everything was super solid, and then boom, it just disappeared. And so when that happened, I started thinking of all the late nights and all the hard work that I put into things that immediately, with him just saying those words that you gotta be a team player and take a pay cut, I'm thinking, wow, ultimately it's a business and they don't care about you. And I kind of took that to heart. But a couple days later, I had a really good friend, my wife's friend's mom. She had come over and she basically asked me a question that basically it changed the entire course of my financial career. It literally did. She said, Frank, if you lose your job, you can always find another one. You know, your family's going to survive, but what if they lose you? And so at that moment, that hit and that cut so deep. I don't know if you guys have ever had that moment. If you're past 50, you've probably had that moment where you've experienced death intimately in your life. And when I did, that kind of shook me at my core. I didn't know how to respond to that. I knew that if I did pass away, my wife and my kids' future wouldn't be secure at all because I didn't have enough coverage. So at that moment, I decided to get my life insurance license and I wanted to go out and be this champion for families and, you know, move on this crusade. But man, I got to be honest with you, every one of you on here, it was rough. You know, I thought, hey, how's this VP, you know, and how hard can this be, right? And it turns out it was pretty hard and I was stubborn. But the hard part mostly was in between my head because again, I was coming from this throne of being a VP to what? To like starting over. I had to start over again. And working hard wasn't just enough. I had to submit and surrender to the system. Okay. And keep in mind that the system that I was originally in was not the system that I'm describing to today, which you guys are all part of now. Okay. And instead of quitting, like I went 11 months. Stefan remembers, and Stefan, you have that picture. He sent me a picture of me and my world of defeat. Who wants to see it? I mean, Rosario, you want to see it? Why? Why do you guys
I've seen it, and man,
why do you want to
I
see
guess
defeat? Who wants to see defeat? Oh, Stefan sent this over to me the other day, man. He's like, "Hey, bro, you remember this?" I'm like, "Why? Why are you sending this to me?" Oh my God, let me find it, guys. Please bear with me while I find this. Stefan, where are you at, man? You're
he's
my
at the
wingman.
gym.
He's my wingman. He's supposed to be sending me this picture.
He
Oh
went
my,
walking the dog and he hit the gym. He's
oh,
hitting the.
oh man. Ah, gosh. Let me see if I can find. I don't want to take too much of your time, guys. I'm very mindful.
Okay, we'll pass on it the next
If
time.
you guys find it, I'll just put here Pasadena, and I think it was 2017, I think. 2017 Pasadena. Anyways, if you guys go to my Instagram, you'll see it. Just scroll down, you'll see me. I was 100 pounds heavier. I was a mess. They were asking me to rent out a corner office for 380 bucks a month, which is not bad, but I was defeated because I had ran out of friends and family to talk to. And my upline had taken a really big client, you know, all in the name of Frank, this lady was abused. And I said, wait a minute, what does that have to do with me? I mean, I'm a married dude. I love my wife. Like, it has nothing to do with me. But man, I took that to heart. And again, instead of quitting though, I went and looked. And I looked and looked and I found symmetry. And it was exactly the moment that I realized what I needed most was a map. I want you guys to remember this acronym. I needed a map. I needed mentorship that meant basically I wasn't alone, but that leaders could guide me step by step without doing it for me. And then I needed activation, which you talked about that, Rosario, which was that real accountability, the standards, things that push me into action instead of just theory. Everybody loves the theory of, hey, you're going to earn passive income, right? Who doesn't love that? But the reality is, let's talk about getting there. And the goal of this class today is to give you the tools to get there. Okay. And then product. Here's what's super important, something real, something that people actually needed and could afford. Voila. What is that product that we sell here? Lucas, what do we sell? What's our starting point?
Mortgage protection.
That's it. Why? And we'll go over this. There's a method to my madness. And when I saw all this, they already had it. I just put in a cute little three letter acronym MAP, mentorship, activation, and product. And then and so from that point, I shifted and I searched and I found symmetry. And then on the other line was Sean Kim. And he was just this mentor I wanted to follow. He's just the dude that was straight up, no BS, and was going to actually just show me the way. And all I had to do is bring in my hard work and be coachable. Okay, so I went from that year from barely scraping by, being a vice president, taking a pay cut, to barely scraping by to hitting over $250,000 a year. And then what was amazing is I built this system that newcomers just like you, Heidi, if you really do this and you really commit, we'll see everybody on here, and I really push for you guys that within a week you could hit 5K within a week. How crazy is that, right? But again, that's me telling you because I have knowledge now. That belief is there because I have knowledge. You don't. People, you don't. That's okay. And then what's cool is hundreds of agents have basically done this and they have time and money freedom. So when you see that people are like, well, if it works for you, I'm like, wait a minute, it's worked for so many agents. Why not you? And that's what we're going to do today. And here's a crazy thing. I'm going to leave you guys with this. I want you to focus on this right now. Write a one if you want to focus on this. I'm going to say this line and I want you guys to tattoo it on your head. The map that I have cost you nothing, but it may cost you everything if you stay the same. So the map that I have costs you nothing, but it may cost you everything if you stay the same. What does the same look like? That's why we talk about personal development. We talk about these things. So let's get into the map that we created, okay? And so before we do, what I like first and foremost is most people that come here are like, Frank, I have the willpower. I'm eager to do this. I'm fired up, but I have no funds to do this. So let's talk about that. What I created, and I borrowed it. Yeah, I borrowed it, and we're gonna go over that. Is your top 25 list? Focus on the macho market. Everything with me is about synonyms and acronyms and all kinds of crap. So if you guys please, so macho, what does it stand for, Lucas? Lucas, I'm gonna call.
Married. Yeah, yeah. Married, age 25 or older, people with children, homeowners.
Right. Why do we want to focus on those people?
Uh, that's where you got me.
Well, remember with MAP, right?
Well,
Mentorship.
one, married, they have children,
No,
they're
no.
starting.
The other
What?
acronym, right? But
What?
because it's something real, something people generally needed. Like, let me ask you a question. If anybody owns a house here, do you think that's possibly the largest investment that someone will ever make?
Yes.
Right? So do you think they want to protect that asset for their family and
Yes.
their legacy? Right. So it's something that people actually need and actually can afford. Your job now is just to match that. So let's get back into funding your business. Let's get back into funding your business. Thank you, Lucas. That was awesome. So here we go. The top 25 list. What we do is we set aside top 25, low-hanging fruit to fund your business. Okay. So let's go over that. If you guys don't have a copy, I'm gonna be sending it over to you guys. I want you guys to work on your macho market list. And remember, it's not like macho, it's it's not. It's there is a method to this madness that works and it's duplicatable. It's not what I say. It's exactly what people have said and have done multiple times over and can duplicate. Remember, there was a lot. I fought this a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. But then once I'm like, wait a minute. But a lot of people here come and they don't. They're like, I'm broke. I don't have money. I don't. Well, let's fund your business. So grab a copy right there. That's your top 25 list. And I want you guys to start thinking in your contacts. You have the average American has over 680 contacts. And I want you to break it down between friends, acquaintances, family, and then you want to do one that's crazy, like old bosses, old coworkers. Start jogging your mind, and then I want you to start thinking of this profile here. Let me send you this profile. Again, we're funding our business, okay? These are for starters. We're funding our business if you're lacking funds. Now, if you're not lacking funds, it's good to have this because we're going to talk about another element of this, and that's this. So if you, I want you to circle all these attributes, okay? Because what I'm doing here is I'm creating the foundation for you to go out and to be successful from the start in this business and to hit your 5K net placed. Because once you hit your 5K net place, you know what that does? It unlocks another stream of income for you, which is override income, that elusive passive income that everyone talks about. So there's a method to this madness. All right. Who's fired up? Like, who's
Yeah.
fired up? This is so cool, right? So here's what we're going to do. You're going to focus on people that are 25 plus, that are married or single moms, single dads, no problem. Children, homeowners. And then here's where we get into a little more specifics. You're going to add more to this, which is, hey, do they have a business career? Or are they career oriented, right? Do they have a degree? Like, have they finished something? It doesn't matter, but just this will add to more stability. The more points you have in this couple or person, the more probable that they'll succeed in the business. Not everybody succeeds. You can't test the person's heart, right? We can't do that. But now let's look at six. Do they have a household income of 75 plus? And then seven, are they dissatisfied with their work? Who's, I'm not talking about those that are, constant complainers, but I'm saying those that are dissatisfied with their work. And then eight, entrepreneurial. Did you see them doing like I don't know, what's the Pampered Chef? Do you see them doing like Avon? Do you see that they have this ability that they just want to strive for more and they're tired of the status quo of the 40-40-40 plan? By the way, who knows what the 40-40-40 plan is? What's the 40-40 plan? I'll tell you guys. 40
Hours a week,
40
40
hours,
hours. Go ahead.
40 years, you get 40% of your income.
Yeah.
Who wants to sign up for that plan? Do you guys know that most Americans are in that plan? Not you. Not you. That's why we're building this. Number eight, they're entrepreneurial, right? So they don't have to have all those profiles, but I just want you guys to be aware that when you're funding your business, that when you start identifying this, they're a natural sales outreach for you too. You're building your business. Frank, am I going to have to do friends of you? Don't have to. Absolutely, you don't have to. But what I've found that the most successful business here in Symmetry have done this model, and then they go right into lead purchasing because they're trying to attract that macho market again. Okay, so let's go into why. So now that you have this information, who needs more time on this? Now we're going to go into the tools of why when someone challenges you. Remember, professionals sort, amateurs will convince. Like if you ever notice like Rolls-Royce and Ferrari doesn't have they don't have any commercials like, right? They don't have to convince you. They are what they are, right? So we're not convincing people. What we're doing though is we're giving a person the opportunity that you're leveraging every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, that you have them speak to Frank, to Kat, to Jessica, to Sean Kim, to Landry Peterson, to Crew Peterson, to Drake, all these leaders that have been there and doing it. They're in the battle right now. They're in the battlefield with you. Just leverage them. You don't have to say much. So what I want to do today then is I want to go over any questions. We're at 9:30. So any questions? I want to go over a tool that I use. It's called the 5-in-1. I'm always about five, guys. I don't know. It's ever since the Marine Corps, we're all about five. Everything's five, three or five, three, five. Remember that. So here we go. By the way, who needs a break? Who needs to take a minute to breathe? Because it was a lot of information. No? Should we roll? Should we roll with this? All right. Okay, so here we go. Why am I so fired up about this business, guys? And remember, I wasn't always like that. I wasn't always fired up, trust me. But the more and more I grow in the business, the more and more I see it is, if you work at this thing right, it is the I think the best opportunity you'll ever create. And here's why. Many people talk about multiple streams of income. Who's heard that, by the way? Put a one if you've heard multiple streams of income. Who's heard that? Okay. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to go over that right here, where if you guys can see that, let me know. Okay, cool. I'm going to present. All right, here we go. All right, so here we go. According to Robert Kiyosaki, if you guys don't know who he is, I highly suggest that you pick up a book and you read it, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then he's also has his second book he wrote was called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And then he broke down the different ways that Americans earn income. So once you understand it, once you see it, and there's a seed planted in you, you can now be aware of it. And then you got to put that into action. So there's reason why we're going to go into this right now. We're going to talk about the 5-in-1 here with multiple streams of income. So to the left, you're seeing there that 95% of America fit within these quadrants right here. The left. So you got the top left, which is E, and the S, which is self-employed. E means you're employed, S means you're self-employed. And that's where you're trading your time for dollars. Okay? You are trading your time for dollars. I'll say that again. You go to work, you punch in, trading your time for dollars. If you're on a salary, congratulations. Now they can overwork you, right? Right? So like, yeah, I'm making $200,000. Yeah, but you're working 160 hours a week. And for somebody else, for that phone call. Hey, Frank, right? So now with the employee, you understand that less than 5% of America is generating any wealth from there. That 5% represents typically like your CEOs, the people that have options and shares, they will have the ability to become wealthy, but it's very few that ever touch that. Self-employed, now you get sick of it, you go to school, you become a doctor, God bless you, you're a doctor, and now you're still trading your time for dollars, but now you own your job. You own your job. The minute you get hurt or sick, guess what? You stop working, money stops coming in. The transition, and what I love about Symmetry and where we're at is that we can transition over into the business class. This is where 95% of America's wealth is, and only 5% ever get to enjoy that. Not you guys, though. This is where you have a system producing money for you without you being actively there. Okay. This is why I want to give you guys some perspective on how amazing this business is. And then last is the investor class. That's between those, it's 5%. And that's when you have assets and those assets are producing money for you. Okay. And those are like you're risking the asset to produce money for you. And this is where 95% of America's wealth is, and only 5% ever even get to touch it. Okay. Now, show of hands or write one down there. Who wants to be to the right here? Show of hands. Or not even show of hands. Just give me a one. Give me a one. Let me see that one there. Ooh, you're cutting deep now. Whoa, Christoph's in the house. I better see a one from Christoph. All right. So here, let me continue here. So when you guys talk to people, when you're out in the marketplace and like, I'm excited about this opportunity. And then what I want you to do is I want you to slow down and go, I want you to analyze everything from this lens. How many streams of income does that one opportunity have? You see, because I have a friend that actually I've known him now. Gosh, how long have I known Galeazzo for? Like since 2010. Ooh. So I've known him for a while now. He was getting out of college and he's amazing guy. He started his own skateboard shop and I'm self-employed. Awesome. He's self-employed. He's calling his own shots. But guess what? The minute he stops working there, that stream of income is DONE, done. So I want you to analyze everything when you go into anything. If you're looking at this opportunity, I want you to analyze it from that point of view. How many streams of income within one opportunity can I have? And what I'll tell you here in this company, you have 5 streams of income. Your personal production, you're going to produce because you got to produce. 2 is trails and renewals. So because of the nature of the business we're in, there's anniversaries. And every anniversary, depending on the product that you sell, if it's a permanent product, like a whole life product, or some IULs, they'll have an anniversary payout. So that's called a trail. Who's fired up about that? How cool is that? So you mean to tell me I sell it once, I get paid twice? Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool, right? And then 3, bonuses. Bonuses. They will give you a bonus here for doing your job. And then 4, oh my gosh, this is elusive overrides or passive income. Elusive overrides. And the goal of today is to unlock override income for you guys. We understand that there's personal production. We understand there's trails. We understand that you have the ability to bonus, but then there's that elusive override, which less than 1% of Americans even touch. Guess what? Congratulations. You're here. You're touching that. And last but not least is agency ownership. This is when you become an owner of your agency, you keep your book of business. And regardless of what you do, as long as you're ethical, as long as you're plugged in, you're going to get paid. You're waking up every day. If you have people, if you look at the promotional chart, and you're waking up every day to, let's say, the 130 volume of $225,000 in issue paid volume. Who's a math guy here or gal? Who's math person here? Okay, Lucas, are you there? I've got to go to you, man.
Yeah, but I ain't the math guy.
You got a calculator, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so why am I fired up about this? Because watch this, guys. The difference between you and I is I've been here 7 years. That's it. That's the only difference. And yeah, I'm a little stubborn. So watch this. So take 225,000.
Mhm.
I want you to give me an average override spread of 15%. So times 0.15. 225,000 times 0.15.
675.
225,000?
Now it's 33,750.
That's it.
Mhm.
Okay. Who would want to wake up today for a monthly override of $33,000? Right? So why am I fired up about telling you guys this? Because it's real. We're seeing it here. You're people that have been here for a while that have actually been building now and then also producing and building for the future. That's what they're seeing. So 5 streams of income. Okay. So again, go ahead and screenshot that. And that's where I want you to evaluate things of why this opportunity. You don't have to sell the opportunity. You just have to tell people. You just tell them a story, plug them in. So personal production. What we do is we help families directly with mortgage protection. We help them. They have a house. We have either mail-ins or digital leads, and we're going out and we're producing. The average commission, $750 to $1,100 average commission. Okay. And that's immediate cash flow that controls your volume right now. It's immediate. You can control it. And the goal is to unlock the override income. By the way, Kurt, you're on. Kurt has unlocked override income. Kurt's been here a little bit. He overrides people like at 10, 15%. How cool is that? By the way, we take it for granted. We're like, wow, that is crazy cool because the other companies will say that's all they live off of. They say that. And then two trails. Remember, we talked about that residual income from existing policies, paid as long as a client keeps a coverage and you build stability and long-term security doing that. Okay, like some IULs, if you're gonna do an IUL, make sure to quote out Everlast. They do pay a double APV on that, so pretty cool. There are some whole life products that we have that do the same thing. Get with your upline. And then three bonuses. Carriers pay out bonuses here, by the way. They have incentive trips. If you hit milestones, all that stuff, bonuses. And then override income. This is the elusive override income that people talk about, everybody that I hear talks about. Ooh, want to earn passive income? Well, it's not so passive. You got to work hard to get it and build for it, but you got to be mindful of it all the time. You got to be very intentional of this. And that's where you earn income on your team's production. You mentor, you train them, you coach, teach, you plug them in, plug them in. You're a traffic cop. And the better your team performs, the more you earn. Okay. And then five is agency ownership. Now, this isn't the end all sale. It's a beginning to a change in your trajectory of your legacy, honestly. Passive override income, the agency pays you while you're selling or not, and then you're building legacy wealth that can be passed down to your family. You can leave your agency without any, you don't have to pay franchise fees here. You don't have to do any of that. You can leave it to your family. Okay. So those are the five in one. So again, one business, five streams of income. Most jobs only give you one paycheck. That's it. So here you're going to get five, which is the immediate income, the residual and trail income, the bonuses, the leadership override income, and then passive agency ownership income. Okay. All right, everyone. Any questions for me? If you don't have any questions, I think our time is done. But I'm excited to have you guys on. Any
Thank you.
questions,
Thank
stuff?
you, Frank. That-
Heidi, pleasure to meet you. We'll be talking here. We're working on getting your HQ going. Yeah, super. Who's fired up, by the way? Like, who's fired? Like, honestly,
It's
I
so
know that you
great.
guys are, I just need to make money. Yeah, but you know
Great.
what's uncovered? I just need to make money, Frank. I know you do. I was there with you. I understand. But what you just uncovered is a treasure trove of streams of income, the possibilities of you giving. If you're a church person, give back more to your church. If you're a person that loves to, do good and build habitat for, you could do that. Because let me tell you, the biggest lie here on earth ever is that you can't make an impact. You can make an impact. You just got to fund that impact. All right. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for being here today. I wanted to make it short and sweet. Get your list filled out and start funding your business today. Who's on fire for that? Like, let's go. You guys, Christoph, you have a ton of people. Christoph, Heidi, I know you have a ton of people. All you have to do is say, "Hey, I'm in this business now. I don't know, you can trust me. I'm not the best at it, but I can help you get the best possible product, the best thing for your family." And then, yeah, no problem. Let's do it. See what you can do. Oh my gosh. Bam, that's one. 1,200 bucks. Bam, that's two. Then 5,000, you're unlocking your what? You're leveling up to passive income. Gosh, because you're going to find someone now. You're at 85. Now you're overriding them at five. And then if you do it again next month at 75, you have a 10% spread on someone that's coming on. And that's what this business is about. I want you guys to produce, believe in the product, produce, and then I want you to get a running buddy. And here's what's cool. Frank reached out to his best friend, Stefan Brenes. That's it. He's my brother. He's my brother. He's like, all right, dude, let's do this. All right. I said, I think we can do this. I kind of think we can. And guess what? He running. And then all of a sudden, he reached out to other people. And just like that, 7 years later, we brought on over 1,000 agents to our company. Not everybody does the business. That's
Right.
okay. But what I'm saying is I'm not doing it to impress you. I'm doing it to impress upon you guys that it can be done. And we're here with you. We're like we say in the Marine Corps, we're picking up our rifle and we're following you. We're not just sitting down and just making it's gonna happen one day. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
So fired up there.
Appreciate you. Appreciate it.
Dale, he's in the house.
Yes, sir. What's up, Frankie?
There he is. All right,
Hey,
guys.
can we hey, can
Yeah,
I ask you, can we get in a breakout room for a sec?
let's go.
Do you have time? Do you have 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
Lucky
Thank you,
number.
Frank.
Yeah. All right. God bless you guys. We'll see you.
Thank you, Frankie.
Sir,
Where what breakout room?
7.
7?